más en vivo, tu mejor opción en internet, radiocristalus.com.
Hola. Hi, bienvenidos a mi show. Welcome to Catching Up with Claudia. Now, ojalá que se puedan quedar hasta el final para que puedan escuchar lo que va a compartir mi invitada o mi invitado. Así es que no se les olvide también de seguirnos por las redes sociales. Estamos en todas las plataformas. Hasta luego. Okay, we're trying again. Hello and welcome back. This is Catching Up with Claudia. Catching Up, Claudia. I forgot to put with on my byline, but hey, that's okay. You know, that's what menopausia does to you. And I have another one called Me Vale Pausia. So, Catching Up with Claudia, la super comadre of RadioCrystalUSA.com. Welcome. Before we get to my guest, because I always want to start off with, how are you? How are you doing? And how is life? And just so you know that the views that are expressed here are mine and mine only. That's are my opinions, my feelings, what have you. Has nothing to do with the organizations and groups that do come and do appear and do on the show to share. It's just me. But I just wanted to check in. How are you doing? How's life? There's a lot of things going on around us. You know, I feel a little bit like we're in the upside down from Stranger Things. But you know what? At some point, we'll be right side up. But in the meantime, you know, one thing I want to share is I subscribe to CoStar. And CoStar, it's an app. Now, I'm not getting paid for it, but I love it. CoStar sends you like a daily horoscope. And the one I got yesterday was, everyone who is alive wants to be held. And when I read that, I thought, you know, right now more than ever, everybody that's alive should pause and hold themselves first before reaching out and holding and hugging someone else. I think it's super important that when you read that and when you hear those words, everyone who's alive wants to be held. Put, I am alive and I want to be held by me. Hold yourself first. It's so hard. I know it's so hard because you get up and you get going for others, right? And hold you first before you start holding everyone. And yes, and we all need to hold each other, whether it's your loved one, you have kids, you have a pet, which, by the way, I'm looking for Lupe, my tortuga. She's around here somewhere. Hug yourself first. Hold yourself first. And what I mean by that, yes, give yourself a hug if you can. Just wrap your arms around you, you know. Stretch if you can. Drink some agua. Drink your café. Drink your tecito. You know, do your stretches, whatever. And I need to remember to do that. That's my practice. And I just want to share that with you. When that showed up, I'm like, yes, yes, I have my girls. I got to hold them physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. But I also need to hold myself so that I can do that work for them. And then with my work, what I do, which is working with lots of families and kids and a team. So yeah. Everyone who is alive wants to be held, but first, hold yourself, feed yourself, nourish yourself, food, you know, prayer, meditation, your tea, whatever it is that you need to keep going throughout the day. All right. So I wanted to start off with that, you know, because, you know, we are in the upside down a bit. You know, for some people, it is the right side up, but for me, it's the upside down. And I will always say, you know, if you want to be counted, if you want things to go a different way, then make sure that you vote, that you get involved, that you show up. Yes, it's hard. Yes, we have a lot of things going on around us, but we got to make sure we exercise our right to vote if you can vote. We got to make sure that we go out to those meetings, if there's somewhere you can go and get information about the candidates and why it's important for you to be involved in elections, even the smaller ones, even the ones that are in your town, in your city. Because when you show up, when you vote in the local elections, yeah, the big national elections every 4 years are important, but the ones here in town, those are the ones that you really need to get involved so you can figure out who's running, why they're running, and how they are going to affect you and your daily life. All right. So with that in mind, I just wanted to say that that one thing that is near and dear to me are books. And I wanted to do a recap because I got a special book based on last time we had my show. I had Dr. Desi Rios, and together we shared our journey about a hot topic called menopause. And she talked about this book, The New Menopause. And I don't know if it's en español, pero tenemos que buscar este libro en español porque es muy importante saber de esta etapa en nuestras vidas, la menopausia o la perimenopausia, que es lo que empieza antes de la menopausia, ¿verdad? Así es que, so, I got my book. And, and I'm at the point where I am at hashtag me vale pausia, me vale pause, or me vale pausia, because you get to a point where you just don't really, care about some stuff. And then you sometimes really care about a lot of stuff. You just don't know. It just depends on the day. It depends on where you're at. It depends on your hormones when you're at this stage. And you know what? For some folks, menopause, they might not even feel the symptoms. They just go through it. Everything's cool on the other side. And there's some of us that feel a little bit of symptoms and can take care of it with something over the counter. And then there's some of us like me who forget a lot of things because of the menopause brain fog, who I get severe panic attacks sometimes, many times. And, I've got vertigo and, all that stuff. But you know what? This book has really helped me. I've already started reading it, and I'm going to start going to my doctor's appointments that I've already made because I am on a journey of getting myself back to where I want to be. And I know I'm going to be a little bit different on the other side of menopause, and that's okay.
Radio Cristal USA es patrocinado por Supernova Furniture, la mueblería de los paquetes de las ofertas más famosas. BAMSA Global, servicio de inmigración con más de 40 años de experiencia. Doneraki Fuego y Mar, con su auténtica comida mexicana que bien se come en Doneraki. Fred Haas Toyota World, es el concesionario número 1 de Texas y siempre tiene el auto que estás buscando. América Cinemas te ofrece las mejores películas dobladas y subtituladas al español. Ostionería Michoacán, donde comes a gusto y delicioso y siempre hay una cerca de ti. Gracias por patrocinarnos. Well, I'm adding myself here. And let's see if La Comadre enters again. I want to thank all our sponsors on behalf of Claudia Macias, our super comadre. We're waiting on her to reconnect. And well, I didn't want to, because I'm not picture ready right now. I'm not camera ready. And I had told her, but anyways, things happen. I hope she comes back here, maybe technical difficulties. And she is back.
You know what? Technology will always fail. But we're back. And that's what matters. Okay, so I was wrapping it up with talking about menopause, la menopausia, and all that, and just making sure that you're taking care of yourself. And I'm going to take care of myself a little bit more because I need to figure out what I need to do to get myself back. And I know I'm not going to be the same person after the menopausia, but you know what? This is one thing I'm going to hold on to, is that I always tell my girls, dream big. And if you could pull that up right now, comadre, I came across this, mija, dream big. And I'm always telling my girls, you want to do that? Go for it. Try it. You want to try that? Go for it. Try it. I'm like, do it. Try it. If you don't get it the first time, it's okay. If you fall down, like literally you fall, or you don't make the mark, it's okay. What are you going to learn from that? And what are you going to do to keep going? And you know what I thought about? I said, okay, the way I cheer my girls on and everybody else around me, I need to say that to myself. I need to keep telling myself, dream big, mija, even though you're going through menopause, dream big of the life you want to have post-menopause and how beautiful it's going to be, because if you're going through an etapa, a stage where you've already had kids, if you were blessed to have kids, and now you're at a point in your life where you're going to give wisdom, where you're going to guide, where you're going to now sit on your throne with a big old crown, a corona de menopausia, de me vale pausia, and you're going to be there to guide now. You've already went through your etapa of being there in one way in your life, and now it's another way. You were learning, applying. Now you're going to turn around and pass on that wisdom. But at the same time, I still got to cheer myself on. Dream big, and dream of the body, your mental, everything that you want after you go to all your doctors and put on all your cremitas so that you can keep moving forward. Because I got 2 teenage girls, and I want to make sure that I'm there as the wind beneath their wings so they can dream big and fly out of the nest and do the things that they want to do in life. All right, so books, libraries. I want to talk about, before we get into my guest who's coming on today, my guest works at a very special place, and it's a place that I hold near and dear because I used to be a teacher. I was in education. I'm in education, but in a different way. Books were my life. I was like teaching children how to read, and then I started teaching teachers on how to teach kids how to read. It was exciting to see the little ones when they got excited about books and writing and telling stories and all that. So this next guest is Angela Martinez. I'm sorry, I'm all in español. Angela Martinez with the Harris County Public Library, and I have her here today, and I want to bring her on. She is the Youth Services Assistant Manager at the Harris County Public Library with over a decade of experience in public libraries. And she leads the system with wide literacy programs like summer reading, growing readers, and Angela grew up in libraries and understands the importance that libraries play in fostering literacy and lifelong learning. Now, while she's not librarying, if that's a word, none of the library, she enjoys, spending time with her family, reading, baking, traveling, and going on adventures with her perrito, Lobo. So without further ado, I'd love to bring on Angela Martinez. Join the conversation. Let's catch up. What's going on with the public libraries? We need those places, and we need your voice.
Hi, Claudia. Thank you for having me today. I'm so happy to be here today and talk about libraries. Like you said, I like to tell people I grew up in libraries. My mom, when I was about 5 or 6, took a job at the Harris County Public Library at the Kingwood branch, and I have very vivid memories of going in and walking into that place, being so little, thinking it was just magical. And, like as many times I've seen Beauty and the Beast, that was like what it looked like to me. Every library was the Beast's library, and just all the possibilities and all the books and adventures you can have while reading. And it's now my job, my privilege really, to help children and even adults feel that way when they come into the libraries, of all the possibilities they can have when they're visiting a public library. And so I'm here to talk about a few of our programs that we have that I would love to share with you. Libraries really are for everyone, all ages. I know when we talk about libraries, there's that kind of old misconception that we have to be quiet. Libraries
Mm,
are not quiet, right?
I
You
love
think
it.
we're gonna be shushed that we're wearing glasses and we're reading at the desk and we're wearing our cardigans.
Yeah.
Yes, we have glasses, we have cardigans, but we're not shushing you.
But you're not shushing anyone. I love that
No.
because I mean, just when I was working with teachers a long time ago with pre-K teachers and kindergarten teachers, and my goal was when I walk in, I want to see and hear the talking and the exchanging. I don't want silence when I walk into any classroom. There should be talking because that's how language it happens in conversations, but
Learn.
then turns
Mhm.
into reading those words that they're saying,
Mhm.
as they continue getting older. So you're right about the noise. I love the talking.
Yeah, and especially for the young ones in early literacy,
Mm-hmm.
that's how children learn. They learn through interactions, those everyday interactions with their parents, because their parents and caregivers are their first teachers.
Yes.
In our libraries, we have family play areas
Yeah.
with the family place libraries, and those are actually, largely sponsored by the Barbara Bush Houston Literacy Foundation.
Nice.
And so through their generous donations and support, we're able to provide families with these play areas that have dramatic play, like kitchenettes and dinosaurs and trucks, and we have a lot of board books for them. And so I like to tell people you can hear it before you see it
Mm-hmm.
when you walk into the
Mm-hmm.
children's area.
Mm-hmm.
So they're great areas because when we talk about early literacy, it's not just reading.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, reading's part of that for
Yeah.
young ones, but it's also playing.
Yeah.
It's also writing, singing, and talking. So again, everyday interactions that we can have with a child helps build their early literacy skills.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
and you and I connected a while back because we are like cut from the same cloth, almost from the same book, I guess, different chapters. And my mission in my work like I said earlier, I was in the classroom. I was a teacher, early childhood, and then a principal. And then I became being librarian was actually my last gig, was being a librarian before I joined Brain Builders in the Hackett Center. And I had a chance to meet with you and say,
Mhm.
hey, let's do something together with Brain Builders and your families. And that has been a great connection. And I want to say thank you for opening up your doors, for continuing to partner and share information, and to see where else we could go to share Brain Builders, because it's all about language and
It,
building those connections. Yeah.
it is.
Do,
And,
do,
we're open places. We're free space.
yeah.
We're like one of the last safe place. Oh, I can't talk right now.
Yeah, it's
Seems
okay.
I'm getting so like worked up about this now. We're one of the last safe spaces in the community
Mm-hmm.
and free spaces that people can use. And we're all are welcome. And so we have the responsibility of providing information and resources for our families
Mm-hmm.
and for our communities, and to
Yeah,
connect them to those resources. And
absolutely.
working with you, Brain Builders, that was such a powerful resource to connect program
Mm-hmm.
to connect our families to,
Yes,
especially not only for English speaking families, but for Spanish speaking families.
absolutely. And I do want to touch on something, because we at our organization are we're finding that we are not seeing the numbers that we used to, and we're trying to find ways to reach out to vulnerable populations, or populations that are not coming out. And so I want to ask you, how have these executive orders affected that are happening in the current, with the current president in charge? And what are some things that you're doing to make sure that, I guess, the community knows that, hey, we're here, we're not gone, we're here. I know that there's talk about like defunding and what have you. That's scary for me, because like you said, there's not a lot of free things for folks to go to, and there's a lot of folks that could use these free resources and places for what everything that you have. So talk a little bit about that. So
I would say we're going to keep doing what we do best. And
mhm,
that is, supporting our community and being that trusted agency. People don't realize how many resources and learning opportunities are available at the public library, and it's all for free,
and it's
right?
all for free.
It's all
Yeah.
for free. You should take advantage of it. You don't need a library card to come into our building.
Okay.
People come in to use the computer, to print, to make copies, to
Hmm.
even just use Wi-Fi, during those natural disasters, which Harris County is in the top, I want to say like 99% of high risk for any type of climate disaster. During those type of disasters, we are those resilient buildings. We are those cooling centers. We are warming centers. We open our doors to all the community to come in. We saw that this past year in Barrow. When I was without power at home for like a week. I know many of us had more than that. But as our libraries were reopening, we were hosting people coming for the public. I remember working during Harvey and, offering people, we were helping assisting people with FEMA assistance. We had places in our libraries where people were dropping off, donations of dog food for animals. It was just, communities coming together and the library is a place to do it. And another thing is that we're make sure we're a presence in our community. We're not just sitting at our desk in our cardigans shushing people, right?
No,
no, we're not doing
at
that.
all.
No, we're out in the community. We're going to community different events. We're attending different functions. And so we make sure to be there and it's just, continue to tell people about the resources that we have available and the support that they can find at their local library.
Absolutely. And just the fact that if anyone right now just takes the time, well, not right now because we're recording and we're doing this live, but afterwards, go to the website and go to the social media that I've seen so much action from all the branches in Harris County where the librarians get so creative on,
we have a wonderful staff.
they're doing a great job of marketing and promoting and reminding folks, like you said, of what we have. And Liliana, my super comadre, can you please pull up the website real quick so that we can show, like, you just opened it a while ago and the first thing it said was tax help. Talk a little bit about that. I mean,
we offer tax help is actually through different organizations who come in, like AARP. They come use our buildings to offer tax help for the public. And I'm going to point something out right now. Yes. Last year we won the IMLS award, which is
let's see. The gold medal. Is it the gold medal? I better, Liliana, raise it up a little so we can see the gold medal. We can see that right there. So there it is.
That is a special one of the highest honors that we can win as a library institution. And we were, so.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. And we were able to win this honor alongside our fellow Children's Museum of Houston. They won for the museums, we won for libraries. And so it was the first time that a city and a city with a library and a museum won that same year. So it's a really special honor. And it just goes towards all the ways that we serve our community in different programs.
It just like, that's a cherry on top. You are doing what needs to be done for the people.
Right. And we continue to look in what's needed in our community and figure out ways that we can, in innovative ways we can serve our community.
And I'm gonna ask you this real quick. Let's say library in Galena Park, library in Kingwood. Are they going to be giving the same exact things, or do you give things based on the community needs? What does that look like?
Are you talking about the materials that we have? We have
programming
We program to the specific needs of our libraries.
That's amazing.
So maybe one library might want a Pokemon club, and another one wants a Minecraft club. To see what's going to get people in and what's needed. But there are services that are offered throughout all of HCPL libraries. So English second language services, citizenship services, of course, checking out materials in our collection. We have a floating collection. So that means if you can't find it at your local branch, we will pull it from one of our other 27 branches and have it sent to you for pickup. So
nice.
And we also have with our library card, you have access to our digital collection on Libby. Okay. And we're one of the top digital collections in the world.
So, digital meaning like audio, like download ebooks?
Yeah, so ebooks and e-audiobooks.
Okay. Okay. So do you have this one yet?
I checked. I did see it. Actually, I was looking whenever you were talking about it. We do have that as an ebook, as an audiobook. I did
Okay.
not see Spanish. I made a note of that so I can make sure if there's a Spanish title, if it's
Yeah.
available in Spanish, we can get it added to our collection. But then I was looking at other titles by
Uh-huh.
Mary Claire Haver,
Yes.
and she has the Galveston Diet.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
one's available in Spanish.
It is. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Okay. Perfect.
So, I
Because
mean,
yeah.
if you don't want to spend money, because
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely. I have
definitely check us out.
and
Come
that
check
is
out your
so needed.
bookstore.
Like this is going to connect to that. Like I just had a whole hour about, menopause, and then
Mhm.
now access to these books, access to these ebooks. What about audiobooks?
Audiobooks as well. Yeah.
So I might be able to find this on audiobook too, maybe,
It,
perhaps. Okay.
yes, it is. It's available as an audiobook.
Perfect. Now, yes. So I'm on the hunt for the Spanish version
Mhm.
because me and my great ideas, we're gonna have. I already see a menopause mix and mingle, and we're gonna have light bites. We're gonna have panelists, doctors, people, experts, and also people that have already gone through menopause or going through it. And then I want everybody to have. Maybe you can come and say, "Hey, this is how you can download it."
Yeah.
I want for people to have access. Like I don't care what level you're at, socioeconomic, whatever. Like have access to whatever is
Our
presented that
materials.
day, especially a book. Yeah.
And that's the key word is access, right? That is something
Yeah.
that we're providing to the public and to our communities. And in fact, a few years ago, we got rid of fines because that was a barrier for people, right? That was creating
Okay.
barriers from using the library because people felt, oh no, I had this lost book or I have this many dollars in late fees.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go in because I won't be able to use the library. So, we got rid of late fees because
Wow.
we don't want to create that barrier. We want people to
Yeah.
have access to our resources.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that because that just really opens up for everyone. So let me ask, so you do the no libraries and you said that if anybody, what do you need? Like, what does someone need if they want to check out a book? Do they need to apply? Do they need fill out some paperwork? What do they need to bring to be able to have access to what you have there?
Well, if you visit one of our libraries, you'll just need to bring identification.
Okay.
And if it has your current address, you're all set. So if it's your driver's license, current ID, you're good. If you don't have your current ID or address on your ID, you will need like a piece of mail, something that has
Okay.
your current address on it.
Okay.
For children, again, same thing. Their parents will sign them up for a card.
Oh, okay. So the parent signs up first and then they sign up the kid.
It depends. Yeah. Sometimes there's like a rite of passage for kids.
Oh.
Parents may wait until they're like 8 years old or, what have you. They're like, okay, you're old enough. It's time for your card. And it's like a big thing. And they come
That's so
in
cute.
and, they get to write their name on their car, on their children's cards. So yeah.
I have a collection of little library cards, like from the Harris County and Houston Public with my girls and how their how they changed over the years. And know that. So if a teen, what's the age where they can go and get a card without a parent?
18. So once they turn
18.
Yeah. So it's pretty much, you can have a child's card up to your 18. When you're 18, you can get an adult card.
Okay. What is so let me ask you this. When you first started working at the library, what was it like for you? Because you almost had like a rite of passage. Like you grew up in the library. And then all of a sudden they handed you the key. What was that like? Do you remember?
It was, really it was eye-opening because even though I knew like my mom worked there and I was even a volunteer at one point, I would come in and help do like the book drop with her, or I would come in and do like we call the pull list, where we grab items that we pull off the shelves that would go into delivery.
Okay.
So the whole, so I would do certain things like that, help with different programs, but that was when I was a teen or tween. And it wasn't until when I was an undergrad and I started working part-time and I work in circulation and working there for a few years that I see how much we actually do, how much, we provide to our libraries and how much it's used. So it's really amazing.
Speaking of volunteers, my first job was, I probably shared this with you, but my first job was working at the library. I was 10 years, I was in the 5th grade. I was 10 years old. I was tall for 10 at that time. I fit into my mom's clothes. And on Fridays during the summer, I would put on her 1980s garb. And I would go to the library. It was a Jacinto City. I don't know if Jacinto City is
It's
that
still there.
right. It's
Yeah,
part of Harris
Jacinto City.
County. Yeah. And
Mhm.
it used to be in a little teeny tiny one room house looking thing on Market Street. And then when I got into college, I think they added a little piece to it. So it was like an add-on. And I remember going and helping shelve the books in this long skirt. I looked like Little House on the Prairie rolled up in there. And Miss Dorothy was the librarian. And I remember how she dressed. I mean, she used to have a beehive left over from the 50s, I guess. She always had her hair up big and her job. And she always had her little glasses and skirts and all that. I remember what she wore. And then she would had a little cart. And so my job was to get the books from the cart, go to this drawer thing, little drawers, get a card. Remember those? I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
And then get the card and put it in the pocket and then put it back on the shelf. And that's how we kept up with books back then. And I was like so big.
Yeah.
I thought I was like, look at me with my job. I get paid.
They trust me with this.
I know. I thought it was a big, you know, and you're 10. And I was like,
yeah.
And I was just so fascinated with this world. And so that's why I was like, I wonder what it was like for you to go from living and growing up in the library. And then now you are literally given the keys to the kingdom of books.
And we want to share those keys with everyone. Everyone has
I like
those
that.
keys, and they come in and check out what we're doing.
Yeah.
We do a lot of different programs too, where we offer volunteer opportunities for teens, for those youth to come in, where that's coming in to be a shelver or helping with programs, or be part of a advisory committee, and they help the teen librarians to come up with programs for the community, for the teens. And another one that's really special to my heart is book buddies. We have teens come in to be big buddies, and they're paired up with a child from from kindergarten to about third or fourth grade, and they read together. So it's all about sharing the love of reading together. And it's almost like a mentorship for them. And creating those relationships and positive experiences around reading.
Yes. And then you have the older kids that are like, oh, I got a job, and and their responsibility. And then the little ones looking up to them. I mean, it's such a reciprocal, thing. Now, so book buddies, I want to learn more about that. Maybe we can do some brain building book buddies or something in the future, but yeah, I love that. So, one of the things I was going to ask you is, as you do this work and as you are getting this programming, making sure it's happening. And I want you to share something, because I remember when we spoke last at a conference, you had some stuff in the works with NASA.
Yes.
And that is so exciting right now with like stuff going up into the air. And I'm not going to mention the people that are doing it. But anyways, I thought it was so exciting, what you have to share and what you were sharing with me. And I wanted you to bring it out today. So is that still going on, or what's going on with that program?
It's finalized. I know last time we talked, I was like, it's gonna happen soon. So we're very excited that we're partnering with Space Center Houston to present a digital literacy workshop for teens. We're calling it Launching Digital Literacy, and this is free. I'm gonna throw that as free.
I love it.
Digital literacy workshop for teenagers, and they have to be in grades 9 through 12.
Okay.
And this is a 3-hour workshop, which this is going to be really fun because they're taught by Space Center Houston educators. And it's about building computer skills for kids.
Yeah.
And they also will work a bit on resume workshopping. As they're going to enter the career field, or even going to to college or what have you, they're going to need those kind of skills. And then they have a fun element in it. They're going to do a hands-on STEM activity using Spiro. So they're going to work on coding a bit.
Okay.
So it's going to be really fun. It's open to 50 kids. And what they're going to do, they're going to split the kids into 3 different groups, and the kids are going to rotate between 3 different rooms. So one hour they're going to do, the computer skills, the next resume, and then after that, the STEM activity. So they're just going to rotate between the rooms with the facilitators.
Wow.
So
I love that.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. It's our first time doing this. We're actually not hosting it at a library.
Okay, where is this going to be at? Yeah, where are we
It's going to
going?
be at the Harris County Department of Education, and that's going to be off of Irvington,
Okay.
6300 Irvington Boulevard, Houston, Texas, 77022.
So, Liliana, comadre, I want you to pull up that flyer. I think we have one there for you. It has the information about NASA, the NASA. Let's see if we can.
I think there's a QR code on there for it too, and the link to register. It's going to be on April 26th, a Saturday. It's from 10 to 1, and we'll have some snacks for the kids. I'm like, you can't have a program for teens and not have snacks for them.
Oh, you got to have food.
You got to have food for them.
You got to have food, because if not, you're going to have some hangry teens. So let's go back. Let's scroll back to the NASA one.
It's that blue one and purple one.
It's a blue and purple one. Is the one before it. Right there. Yep. Launching digital. I was like, digital.
There you go.
Yes, it came out. Digital literacy. There it is. And it's free.
It's free.
I love free 99.
Yeah.
Free. Okay. And this, and again, so people can go to the QR code if they're watching. If you're rewatching, you can get your phone out. You can scan this, or they can go to the link that is there. So you can get that link, tiny URL.
tinyurl.com. Okay. Let me see if I can. There you go.
There it is. There it is. Okay. Thank you, Liliana. Thank you, comadre. All right. So you've heard it. We have liftoff.
We do.
Because I know that it was still on the launch pad when we talked.
We were. Yeah. I was like, it's going to be exciting. I'm really, we're finalizing a few things, but yeah, we're excited about this one, and we want to see if we have a good turnout. And I think it's really important too for kids to have attend this, especially who are in need of these kind of digital skills.
Absolutely. And and going back on the digital skills, because there's always, me, you, I don't know, we might think the same, we might not, and that's okay. But books in hand versus screen. What is your take on that?
You know what? I love ebooks when I'm traveling because it lightens my load.
True.
And when I'm driving, I like
showing up with a stack. I got all my books.
No, I need to put it all in one device. But I still love the feel of a physical book.
Okay.
I would still, like, if I'm reading at home, I'm gonna want a physical book. But if I'm on the road, audiobooks. I get people tell me audiobooks are not reading.
Yeah.
And I argue with them it is, because it activates the same part of your brain as when you're reading to yourself. And if you think about it, when children are reading, most of the time it's the parents or caregivers or adults reading to them.
Yeah.
That's reading.
Yeah.
Right?
And then they read out loud. Okay. Because back in the day when I was teaching, the reading, the literacy, early literacy, and then literacy pieces was, like you said, we would start off with language, conversation, play, all that, because that's going to build the foundation for the kids when they start putting letters and sounds together to make
the print awareness and
the print awareness.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, I'm still on, when they're first starting out, pencil in their hand, book in their hand.
Oh yeah, definitely for kids. I would say for kids, you want physical books.
Yeah.
And we have.
I was going to ask you, because I'm the reason why I asked about the audio is because at my stage in life, I like to look at the words while I'm listening to somebody else read. So that's why I was asking. Do you
remember those books on tape or book CDs?
Yes.
We were
I remember the record. You put the record, and then you had the little book, and then you had ding, and you
the bag books. We used to have them. When I started, there were CDs on tape.
Yeah.
But, now we have these really cool ones that the device is attached to the picture book. So I think they're called Wonder Books. I always forget. There's two types of them, but they're really cool. You can find them at your library. They're multiple languages.
So
for parents out there.
You open the book and it reads to you in a way or something?
It's like a little device is attached to the book, and we charge it for you. So whenever you check them out, it's fully charged.
Yeah.
And you you can read. They're called Wonder Books.
Wonder
We
Books.
have so you can just type in Wonder Books into our catalog, and you'll start
Yeah.
seeing all these different types of picture books available for that. So they're a book plus audio for those kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there are some kids, I work with some kids that were on IEPs, which is an individual plan. And sometimes they needed things to be read to them. And what better way that they can empower themselves, that they can have a device or something, read it to them while they're learning to read, or they're teaching them strategies in case they were dyslexic or something like that, So it gives them a chance to still feel empowered
to read.
To read.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. I like that new stuff.
Yeah.
I like that.
So those picture books are great. My sister is one of those. She was a teenager, was one of those reluctant readers, did not want to read, and it also has to do what you're reading in class, because they kind of pick the books for you.
Yeah.
But now that she's out of school, and I got her into audiobooks, and she loves audiobooks. I think she reads more than me now, which I'm like, makes me so proud as a big sister.
Good, because you're like, that's my job. I like it. I'm influencing. I'm an influencer.
Yeah. She's like, we're talking about books now, so I love it.
That's amazing. One thing that with my girls too, they scroll, they're teens, but I held off on devices as long as I could. But I love when I see a book, I see a box show up, and it's almost the size of these two books put together. And it's my daughter all excited, my youngest one, saying, "Oh my God, I got the new Hunger Games book." I'm like, "Oh,
did she read it?" I read it.
She's in the process of reading it. So I see her every so often pull it out, and I'm like, "Oh, that's like my soccer mom moment." She's reading an actual book, and I'm excited that they are still doing that they still pick up an actual book.
And that's been the trend. Like, I think they've been seeing too, even like looking at social media, people are going back into reading and talking about what they're reading. So that's, really important to have that kind of community too.
Do you have that in libraries too, like book clubs, or where people come together, like little kids, or like teen kids, tweens, or?
We have all different kinds of ages of book clubs. The best way to find a book club will be go to our website and look at our events calendar to find a book club near you at a library.
Nice. I like that. So many things. And see, this is why it's super important. And like I said, my views are my views. So I'm going to share. If you have a library in your community, you got to make sure that you're up and up on what's going on around us. Who are the people that are and our elected officials, and making sure that treasures like this, like our libraries, are still being uplifted, are still being funded, because these are a library to me now, it's like a lighthouse in the middle of the neighborhood that provides so many things. Not, you mentioned cooling centers when it was hot as HELL down here, warming centers when it was cold as F, so it places where you can come get your taxes done with these partnerships with AARP, and then having people like, brain builders, group like brain builders come in and do some programming with the families. And these are such gems, and people just, I always say, hey, you want to make sure things are going in the right, I don't want to say the right or wrong way. I want to say in a way that's going to benefit the community at large.
A constructive kind of direction. We're looking at that. Our library system is working towards being certified as a sustainable library.
What does that mean?
So that means that we're looking at changing some of our practices, some of our policies, focusing on, so when we think of sustainability, we're not looking at just, being eco-friendly. It's also looking at being economically feasible on the way we do spending. And we also look at finally, that kind of third pillar of being sustainable is being socially equitable. So again, looking at having access for programs. And one of the programs that we're actually working on kind of ties all that together. And it's called the Repair Cafe.
Oh,
yeah.
Share more.
Yeah, so Repair Cafe, we're working with Harris County Sustainability Division,
Uh-huh.
and we're hosting our repair cafes with them at libraries. So we've had a lot of success. We were actually recently featured on the Houston Chronicle. So a repair cafe is this really neat opportunity for the public to come in. So again, free program. So they can bring
Mm-hmm.
broken items. We've seen lamps, we've seen furniture, we've seen toys. A dinosaur toy was,
Oh.
was featured in the Chronicle news article. I've seen keyboards, typewriters,
Oh.
really cool typewriters. We've seen family like treasures, things that really mean a lot to different people.
Uh-huh.
Quilts, sleeping bags. Even clothing that just may need a replacement button.
Mm-hmm.
So things that that need mending or a bit of repair, people can bring those in
Yeah.
because they may not have those skills to fix them themselves.
Uh-huh.
So we pair them with a volunteer repair coach, and so you
Okay.
work alongside with that repair coach to fix your broken item. And again, we're not going to promise that we're going to fix everything, but
Yeah, yeah.
we'll try our best. And so it's really neat to see people come together who have never met. This one woman last year, she volunteered to be a sewer to sew,
Yeah.
and she did it because she was new to the country. Really, she's new to the country. She
Yeah.
wanted to meet people, and she ended up becoming really good friends with someone there. And they took a picture together because she helped fix the quilt. And so it was these kind of like community coming together, seeing people of all different lives to come together and just really share over certain items. And so yes, it's about building community, but it's also helping us to reduce landfill waste. So
Yeah.
keeping that out of the landfills. It's
Mm-hmm.
also helping people save money.
I
So if
like that.
you have somebody had a coffee grounder, like a grinder,
Mm-hmm.
and that they thought they may need to throw away, or a
Uh-huh.
vacuum cleaner, and they were able to be repaired. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
so
And yeah, and in this economy, we might
in
need
this
to
economy, exactly.
revert to the repair cafe. Now,
Yeah. Oh
I'm
yeah.
taking notes because I'm already like, I do
Yeah,
have a Keurig.
our next one's coming up in a month. So that's going to be
Okay.
at Galena Park Branch Library.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be on Saturday, May 3rd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And so if you follow us on social, you may see us begin to post it, and you can
Okay.
find it it's already on our website.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and see how you can sign up to join.
Okay. So, oh my God, there's so much programming there, and
Mhm.
you don't even know. You think, oh, it's just books. You go check out books, but you are literally a hub.
Yes, we are.
You are a hub,
That's a
and
good
you
word for it,
have,
yeah.
yeah, and you have connections to anything and everything that is needed. And if it's not found there, you can find it at another library, or have it brought over, or look at the programming at another branch and try to
Mhm.
get out there. So you have so much programming here, and I want to get to some things, some other flyers you have there, because we are actually going to be doing something kind of together on the
Uh,
26th for Baby Day.
yeah, baby day.
Yes. So pull up the flyers for Baby Day, Comadre. I think we have about 4 of them, 2 in English, 2 in Spanish.
Ah,
But let's talk about Baby Day, because Baby Day is super important, and you and I are participating. And I want you to share, how is Harris County Public Libraries a part of Baby Day? What's going on? Who can go? How much is it? And what are families going to take away from this experience?
Well, I think we're first going to give a shout out to the coordinators of Baby Day, first 3 years.
Mhm.
They're an amazing nonprofit organization, and they're all about dedicated to uplifting and supporting families in our communities, right? So
Yeah.
they're focusing on those first 3 years of life that are very important. And so Baby Day was created by them, and it's a statewide celebration. And it's dedicated to families with infants and toddlers. And so with Baby Day, first 3 years, they're one of our partner organizations that we work with a lot. They come out to our family place workshops,
Mhm.
and we've acted as a participant in Baby Day, where we host an activity booth. We talk about early literacy and connect families with resources at the library, and do story times for Baby Day. But this year is the first year that we're actually going to be a host location.
Nice.
Because there's a baby day in Central Houston that, Claudia would be at with Brain Builders. But we're going to be actually hosting it outside in our suburban area. So we have the Tomball community. So Lone Star College Tomball Community Library will be a host location. And in Seabrook, we have the Evelyn Metter Branch Library. And that's again going to be on April 26th on a Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And again, it's free. This is a free event. It's free. And what can families expect? Well, they'll have fun and engaging activities. They'll be able to connect with different parenting resources. We've recruited community partners to come in from all aspects that serve families in the communities. We'll have, of course, our story time. And we were able to get some support from the Children's Museum Houston. We're going to be offering open door passes. So it's a free family pass for a family of 6 to come and visit the Children's Museum at any time they want. And of course, you're going to be able to connect with your community. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and it really highlights the importance of that early relational health. Those early interactions between a child and the adults in their life, and how they're built on those everyday interactions when you're bonding, whether that's, making, getting,
ready.
Getting ready in the morning
for the day.
Getting ready for the day, whether you're cooking, you're singing, you're in the car, all those little interactions with your child, reading together. Those bonds are very important. So for adult and a child. And it's important to know that libraries are part of a young child's early relational ecosystem, right? We help and provide some resources and materials and knowledge to parents and adults and caregivers. I say that when you go to one of our story times, yes, it's for the children, but also parents are also learning. We're modeling these best practices in how to read to a child. What story or songs can you sing to your child? Different finger plays, different movements, and all sorts of, and introducing them to new books that they may not know. A lot of times we go to the books we knew as a child. And so like whenever I remember as a child, when I was reading, my parents were like, Dr. Seuss. But there's so much more than Dr. Seuss, right? There's so much more.
Oh my gosh.
We can help connect them to those parenting books they need. We can help them connect to picture books with different concepts, like how to learn your ABCs, books about numbers, colors, animals, what have you. So, it's just a way to bring families into the library and have a little fun. And there's going to be a lot of different giveaways, like I mentioned, like the Children's Museum Pass.
I'm excited because we're excited to be doing this with you. We're going to be at the YMCA, the Harriet and Joe, I think. YMCA.
Yes, I think so.
Foster.
We'll be there too. We'll have a booth there.
So we're gonna be seeing each other.
You won't see me. I'm gonna be at
you're gonna be at the Tomball. Oh, the space. No. That's right. Oh, that's right. Because it's in the same day. Yes. So you're gonna have your team.
My team members there.
Yes,
they'll be there. We're bringing actually our bookmobile out there. So the Curiosity Cruiser will be there at the.
I love it. Curiosity. Say it again. Curiosity.
Curiosity Cruiser.
The Curiosity Cruiser. I love it. So we're gonna be brain building. We're gonna be literacy building. We're gonna be community building. You and I on that day. You with the NASA. You might have my girls over there.
Yeah.
Me, I'll be bumping into your crew. And I just want to say thank you. And I know we're in closing now, but I just want to say, as a new mom, when my girls they're only 13 months apart. Your story times at the North Channel Public Library were a saving place for me as a woman who stepped aside from being a principal. And it was really hard because I worked really hard to start up a school. But I'm like, okay, I got my 2 kids. Okay, I can do this. Man, that was the hardest job ever. I was like, oh my God, I think I want to be a principal again. I think that was easier. And that job was hard. And I was like, we got our immunizations updated. Everybody can leave the house. So I would go to the baby toddler story time. Not so much for my kid, but for me.
For you. Yeah.
I needed to talk to some other people that were not like goo goo gagaing back to me. And so I just want to say thank you, because if it weren't for your North Channel Public Library toddler story times, where I met a woman named Deborah Prieto, and she was new, and she was and then she was working with another woman, and she was like the assistant, but she and the main children's library, then ended up giving me an hour to do what I used to call story time with music, movement, rhythm, and rhyme. From there, students from the San Jacinto College North that were in the education prep program for early, when they were going to leave San Jacinto College and go into careers that had to do with child development or go into a 4-year university to become a teacher, they started showing up at my playtime, at my story time with no kids. I didn't know. I'm like, why are these people showing up with no kids? Because it's supposed to be mommy and kid time, right?
Yeah.
They were walking in with clipboards and they were just taking notes. And then finally someone said, oh yeah, so-and-so who's a mom was coming and she told us about you. And she said we should come and learn from you. And then they went and told their director from their programming at San Jacinto College North. I forgot her name, but she's no longer there. And then she showed up and she goes, hey, my students told me about you. You think you could come give us, like, we need some PD for our pre-service students that are going to be teachers one day? I'm like, sure. You have a business card? And I'm like, yeah, here. I gave her a piece of paper with my name and number. And this is my story as to how I ended up coming back and becoming a consultant in education. I harnessed all my skills of, when I used to teach teachers how to teach the kids how to read. And I brought that back and I created, programming and professional development. And then I was a hired paid consultant. And then she was going to pay me. I'm like, sure, I'll show up. And she goes, okay, well, send me your blah, blah, blah. Here's your W-1, whatever. I don't even know. And I'm like, oh, you're going to pay me to come talk to your student? No problem. And that's how I ended up starting my consulting, because of the library experience, because of me needing connection and community with other moms and parents. And then my kid also, that's, they're playing with the rest of the kids.
Yeah.
But you were literally a lamp. What was I saying earlier? What do you call
the
those
lighthouse?
things? The lighthouse. You were literally a lighthouse at a time in my life when I needed to be reminded of everything that I used to do and what was still to come. And thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you.
Thank you for, supporting libraries and having me on here to use your platform to talk about the wonderful ways that we're helping the community. And we hope that we're the lighthouse for many other people out there.
Yeah, you are. And you will be. You were warming people up. You were, cooling them down. You were offering them Wi-Fi. You were offering them nourishment, like not just nourishment, like food, donations, but also nourishment for the soul.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, may that continue. And whatever I can do to support and uplift, please reach out. We're going to be out there doing the work. And before we leave, we have a few minutes left. What do you do to take care of you? Because you're doing a lot for others. What have you done today, or what will you do?
Oh, I did take a long break today, and I went on a short walk with my dog. And
Lobo?
Yes, Lobo. He said he's a perrito. He's not little. He's a big dog. He's a husky mix, and so he's like a big 75-pound baby.
I love it. Oh my God, I can already see him.
Yeah.
What color is he? Because I'm thinking like he looks wolfy.
Yeah, he looks wolfy. He has like kind of gray, white, black on him. So yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, he's a brat, but yeah.
But
yeah, anytime I spend with my dog's part of my family, but family, taking time for myself to just to decompress. Those are good too, and of course having a good read. You said your daughter's reading the newest Hunger Games book. I read that. I finished it last week, and I was like, I was really distraught for a bit.
Wow.
If she's crying, you'll know why.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet. But I'll make sure to be there with.
But it was a good cry. It was
a good cry. I'll be there with the tissue.
It got me. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much for taking the time and joining my platform and joining La Super Comadre Claudia. So thank you. And don't, we're going to probably take you off, but don't leave, because we're going to take a class picture, all three of us.
Okay.
La Super Comadre Liliana. All right. So that has been our moment today with Angela Martinez with the Harris County Public Library. They are there for you. This is a free resource. It's like a lighthouse. They don't just have books. Books are important. Yes, they have them on tape. They have audio. I don't even know if they have them on tape, but they have audio books. They have digital libraries. They have everything for you and resources. And we just shared something that's coming up. They're having these 2 amazing events, Baby Day, that they're participating as a host, as well as this NASA partnership with Space Center Houston partnership for teens in grades 9 through 12. Visit their website, get connected, get online, and know that these are resources, they're treasures for us, and they're free. And they're there for everyone, no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, no matter what language you speak. Libraries are there and open for you. All right, so this has been La Super Comadre Claudia. So if you're listening, don't forget, you can also watch it and rewatch it or listen on the podcast. I'm going to be uploading this so you can listen to it, find it on Spotify. And if you want to watch the show again, go ahead and rewatch it on all of our platforms. We're there for you. Do you have a story? Do you have a journey? Do you have a resource? Reach out to us, and we'd love to have you, because that's what this platform is all about. La Super Comadre Claudia is there to catch up with folks that have something to share that could be something for you. All right, hasta la otra. Adiós. Gracias por haber estado aquí en el show Catching Up with Claudia. ¿Tan tan? ¿Ya terminamos? Okay, bye.